There are three massive mistakes you might be making when trying to align stakeholders, and they are the reason that projects stall, meetings go in circles, and decisions never seem to stick. Most people think that the issue is a lack of clear requirements or poor communication, but that's not it. The biggest reason you're struggling with stakeholder alignment is actually focusing on the wrong problem. Now, if you're like most BAs or advisors, you've probably tried holding more meetings to create alignment, only for the same discussions to repeat, and creating more detailed documentation, thinking that clarity will solve the misalignment issue, or escalating to leadership, only for those decisions to be overturned later. I know, because I did all of this too, and none of it worked. I learned this the hard way on a major transformation project where no matter what I did, more documentation, more meetings, more follow-ups, but nothing moved forward. Mistake number one, trying to force alignment on the what. If you take only one thing from this video, let it be this. Trying to align stakeholders on what needs to be done before aligning them on why it matters is a guaranteed way to stall your project. And trust me, the last insight I will share will completely change the way you approach alignment. I was leading a major systems upgrade for a client and working with IT and the other business units. We had solid documentation, clear priorities, meetings booked with agendas and minutes and all of that, and everything looked great on paper. But every meeting felt like a reset. See, the business units wanted cost cutting and efficiency, and IT wanted platform upgrades, and neither side was budging. Then I realized I was asking the wrong questions. So instead of asking, what do you want? I started asking, why does this matter to you? And that was a game changer. And when we started to map their priorities visually, they saw it. The business actually needed IT to get their platform upgrades done first, before the cost savings can start and the efficiency can begin. And IT wanted the business's help to drive user adoption so people actually start using the system. And suddenly we weren't fighting over requirements. We were building a shared roadmap. And that's just the first mistake. This next one, almost every analyst or even project managers make it. And it really makes projects spiral out of control. Mistake number two, assuming that stakeholders know what they want. Have you been in endless revision loops, stuck in scope creep, or watched stakeholders change their minds every other week? That's because most people don't really know what they need up front. See, I used to believe when stakeholders gave us requirements, they knew exactly what they wanted. I was so wrong. See, they knew their pain points, but their asks were very much based on assumptions. And this is what keeps leading to endless scope creep and frustration. So to fix that, instead of blindly collecting requirements, we started co-designing solutions together. So I ran a session where we mapped out the real business problem, the impact on the teams, and what success really looked like. That single shift changed everything. Instead of saying, this is what I need, stakeholders started saying, this is how we solve the problem together. And if you think that was a big shift, this last mistake that I'm about to share is the one that completely transformed my projects around. Mistake number three, relying on meetings instead of decisions. If your meetings feel like déjà vu, where the same discussions keep happening over and over again, this is why. See, at first I thought the issue was not having enough meetings, because I hate having meetings. So I scheduled more of them, and turned out that was a big mistake. Every session felt like a repeat. We would agree on an action, and in the next meeting, it would be either challenged or overturned. And then it hit me. We weren't lacking meetings, we were lacking decisions. So instead of another round of discussions, I ran what is called a decision alignment workshop, where we defined the decision-making criteria up front so there was no backtracking later. We mapped out the dependencies so the teams saw how their success was linked, and we committed to a shared roadmap so we had actual accountability. That's when the light bulb moment occurred. IT and the business, they weren't at odds, they were interdependent. IT's platform upgrades enabled the business to have cost savings and efficiency, and business buy-in was needed to make the IT platform work. And once we saw it mapped out, everything finally moved forward. Think about the last project where stakeholder alignment was a nightmare. What would have changed if you went from what to why? Try it out in your next meeting, and I'd love to hear how it goes. So let's make this week a week where we stop chasing alignment and start driving decisions. I'm really keen to hear what you think, what your insights are. I'll see you in the comments.